the preaching of the cross and the power of God. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 18 through 21. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved, it is the power of God. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? For after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. It pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for many people, the thought of a man going to the cross to die for another person's sins is pure foolishness. You know, many times you preach this gospel, people just mock you. One man told me once, how can you be so brainwashed? And people have no idea they're blind. They're still spiritually blind. So, but they are still caught up. You know, many people are caught up with their own intelligence, their own intelligent ways to waste their time on foolishness, which they believe that we are teaching here. So the scripture tells us that to the saved, the preaching of the cross is the power of God. And we say that because we know that firsthand. We've been born again of the Spirit. We've tasted of the Lord. We know that He's good. We know that the gospel is true because we've been born again of the Spirit. Only God can open up our eyes, and He does that. So don't miss that. It says, but unto us which are saved, it is the power of God. Folks, you can know whether you're saved. You know, for years I went to church. I never knew. Even purgatory, as a Catholic, there was a long shot, folks. There was never any peace, you see. But it says here, unto us which are saved. We know we're saved because of what Jesus Christ died for us. We know that He paid the price for us, folks. That's what I'm trying to say. So the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved, it is the power of God. So the scriptures tell us that God will destroy the wisdom of this world and make it look foolish. And He does that. Okay. Not only that, the scriptures tell us that it pleased God to do things this way. That's the beauty of the gospel, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to be a college grad or a rocket scientist to understand the salvation of God. A child can understand this gospel. But you know what happens, ladies and gentlemen, people become so enamored with their own intelligence or the great intelligence of other people. But, you know, they make the mistake. They never seek the wisdom of God. Now listen to this in Luke chapter 10, verses 20 to 21. This is Jesus Christ speaking. Keep in mind, He's the creator of all things. Listen, He says, notwithstanding, in this rejoice not that the spirits are subject unto you, but rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven. In that hour, Jesus rejoiced in spirit and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, that thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. Even so, Father, for so it seemed good in thy sight. That's powerful, folks. So Jesus told His followers to rejoice in the truth, that their names were written in heaven. You know what He was talking about? He was talking about the book of life. That's very powerful, folks. You know, either your name's in the book of life or it's not. So He says, rejoice that your names are written in heaven. What a great thing. Read Revelation chapter 20, verses 12 through 15 to find out about the book of life and what happens to those people whose names are not found in that book of life. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with the lake of fire. Okay, so don't forget to read that. Revelation chapter 20, verses 12 to 15. So Jesus, what He did here, He's now thanking the Father that He revealed these things unto babes and not the wise and prudent. And the word babes there, ladies and gentlemen, it obviously means a simple-minded person. In other words, the simple. You know, the Lord always like people to come to him. He says, come to me as a little child. He was talking to adults, but he says, come with that simple-minded faith. That's all he's talking about there. So that's how the Lord works in the salvation of a soul. Many people, they may not even have graduated high school or had any type of formal schooling whatsoever, but you'll hear testimonies of people getting saved. Might even be homeless on the street. You know why? Because they're the very ones that the Lord describes here. They're very simple-minded. They come as a child and they get saved. Now, meanwhile, you could have this man walking by that's making $200,000 a year with a suitcase and his three-piece suit on, and he'll walk by these people trying to hand them, say, a Bible tract, and he looks down upon them. He thinks they're stupid or foolish, okay? Meanwhile, he has no idea that he's as lost as can be. Which it's just coming to my mind right now. I remember I was handing out Bible tracts down near Wall Street, and as I was doing it, a young, I don't know, he was obviously working down there, a young man, probably in his 20s. I mean, he just looked at me, and he looked at me, and he said, "Get a job." I actually had a job. So that's the attitude that I'm talking about right there, folks. So God will save the simple-minded, but he hides it from those who are too wise and prudent in their own sight. And what happens, folks, they have totally neglected the wisdom and the power of God. Listen to this, 1 Corinthians 1:27-29. Written by the Apostle Paul. There was a man who studied the scriptures. He was a Jewish man, but he didn't know the Lord until the Lord saved him on the road to Damascus. Read Acts chapter 9. He got saved, and in fact, he became a powerful preacher. And he wrote this, "But God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty, and base things of the world, and things which are despised hath God chosen, yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are, that no flesh should glory in his presence." God will not allow any flesh to glory in his presence, folks. That's what the gospel is about. Be blessed.